This is the summary of the second Harry Potter movie, The Secret Chamber. The escape. Harry is back at his uncle's house, who are about to receive an important visit. His uncles warn him that these people know nothing of his existence, so he shouldn't make any noise. When Harry gets to his room, he finds a house elf, Dobby. She tells him that it is a pleasure to be with him, and warns him not to return to Hogwarts, as evil events are about to happen. But when Dobby is about to reveal who is her master, he always ends up hitting himself. Dobby uses magic inside Harry's house by blowing up Aunt Petunia's cake, for which he receives a warning letter from the Ministry of Magic, telling him that he cannot use magic at home, so on the next occasion of use of magic could be expelled, and then he is punished by his uncles to be locked in his room. Harry stays at his house, depressed about not being able to get out. Suddenly in the night, Harry's best friend, Ron Weasley, arrives in a flying car, and Harry narrowly escapes, along with Ron's brothers Fred and George. Arriving at Ron's home, the Burrow, their mother lashes out at her son, though she treats Harry very kindly. Harry, for the first time, meets Ron's father, who works at the ministry, and Ron's sister Ginny, who is entering her first year at school, but who always got nervous when she was in the same room as Harry. Using flu powders, which allow wizards to transport themselves from one place to another using their fireplace, the Weasleys are able to reach Diagon Alley. When it's Harry's turn, he mispronounces the name of his fate and arrives at Nocturne Alley, an alley lined with shops dedicated to the dark arts. There he sees Draco Malfoy and his father Lucius, Borgin, and Berks enter. When he is able to escape, he arrives at the store he wanted to buy his books. There he meets Hermione Granger, his best friend. In the shop, someone named Gilderoy Lockhart is signing books, and he is very famous, being one of the most knowledgeable and experienced magicians in the world. This wizard recognizes Harry and gives him the entire collection of his books for free and announces that he is the next Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher at Hogwarts. Lucius Malfoy appears and taunts the Weasleys. He takes a second-hand book from Ginny to look at and returns it to her after getting into a fistfight with Mr. Weasley. When they want to get through the barrier to get to the Hogwarts Express, Harry and Ron can't get through it, so they can't get to the train on time. They decide to use the flying car to get to the castle, but in doing so, they crash into the Whomping Willow. Ron's wand is severely damaged. Severus Snape was about to expel them from school, but was unable to do so because Professor McGonagall is Harry and Ron's head of household, although the next morning Ron receives a vociferous letter, which is a written letter. A voice, composed by his mother, yelling at him for being able to take the car. The inscription on the wall. Realizing that Gilderoy Lockhart is the new Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher, Harry and Ron realize his inexperience, even though his books say otherwise. Quidditch practice comes around again, and Harry is Seeker, just like the year before. Malfoy is chosen as Seeker for the Slytherin Quidditch team, as his father has given the entire team Nimbus 2001 broomsticks. When Hermione says that Gryffindors, unlike him, don't buy their places on the team, Malfoy calls her impure blood. Although Harry doesn't know what this means, Ron, Fred, and George try to hit Malfoy for this expression. Ron uses his broken wand to make Malfoy vomit slugs, but the spell bounces off him. Harry and Hermione take Ron to Hagrid, and there it is, explained that unclean blood is an insult to Muggle-born wizards. Harry must serve the punishment for having arrived at school the way he arrived at the beginning of the course, so he must stay with Lockhart to help him with his correspondence. There he hears a mysterious voice saying that he wants blood, and although Harry tells this to Lockhart, he says that he didn't hear anything. Harry is invited along with Ron and Hermione to the 500th anniversary of the death of Nearly Headless Nick. The trio quickly get bored of the party and leave, when suddenly Harry hears the same mysterious voice. Running through the halls, Harry finds Filch's cat in a petrified state next to a message written on the wall in blood that reads, "The Chamber of Secrets has been opened. Fear, enemies of the air." The Chamber of Secrets. In a History of Magic class, Hermione asks Professor Binns about the Chamber of Secrets. He explains that the school was founded by Godric Gryffindor, Helga Hufflepuff, Rowena Ravenclaw, and Salazar Slytherin. Each admitted a certain type of person into his house. However, Salazar Slytherin wanted to admit only students from the magical family, leaving out the impure bloods, Muggle-borns like Hermione and half-bloods, such is the case with Harry. He leaves the castle because his ideas were not listened to. However, according to legend, before leaving he established a site, the Chamber of Secrets, inside the castle with a monster inside, which would unleash disasters. Only the Slytherin heir could find it and free the monster from the chamber, killing the Mudbloods. At Gryffindor's Quidditch match against Slytherin, a bludger goes berserk and breaks Harry's arm. Lockhart tries to fix it, but all she does is make her bones disappear. Harry is sent to the hospital wing to have them grown. In the night, Dobby appears and tells Harry that she shouldn't have gone to the castle as terrible things will happen at Hogwarts, related to the Chamber of Secrets. Harry asks Dobby if the chamber actually exists, but he only tells him that the chamber had already been opened years before. She reveals that he was the one who kept Harry from getting to the Hogwarts train and that he put the bludger spell so that Harry would get hurt and have to leave school. After asking him why he used dirty rags as clothes, Dobby confesses that clothes are the mark of his slavery, and he will only be free if they give him something to wear. Dobby disappears, and Albus Dumbledore arrives with other teachers. Dumbledore says that a student, Colin Creevey, has been petrified, and that therefore it is true that the Chamber of Secrets has been opened. Harry, Ron, and Hermione suspect that Draco Malfoy is the heir to Slytherin. Hermione suggests that they use Polyjuice Potion, which allows them to transform into Slytherin appearances so they can talk to Malfoy. Hermione says that it will take her over a month to make the potion. When a dueling club is made so that the students can defend themselves, Harry and Draco face off. He uses the Serpensortia spell, making a black snake appear from his wand. To everyone's surprise, Harry is able to talk to the snake. He asks her not to attack Justin Finch Fletchley, a Muggle-born Hufflepuff student. Harry says that he has always been able to, and that he believed that all wizards could, but is told that it is a sign of evil in a wizard. A rumor spreads that Harry is the heir to Slytherin, which makes him think that he is not a true Gryffindor. Then a double attack occurs. Justin Finch Fletchley and Nearly Headless Nick have been petrified. Harry, by chance, arrives at the place where the attack occurs. Professor McGonagall finds him there and sends him to Albus Dumbledore. When Harry arrives at his office, he meets the Sorting Hat. He asks if his choice to put him in Gryffindor was correct, and the Hat says maybe, since he would have done well in Slytherin. Harry meets Fawkes, Dumbledore's phoenix, who upon reaching old age burned himself, only to be magically reborn from the ashes. The Polyjuice Potion is made, and Harry and Ron are transformed into Crabbe and Goyle, Malfoy's friends. They go to the Slytherin common room. They ask him if he is the heir to Slytherin, and Draco answers in the negative. Harry finds a blank journal in the women's bathroom, where Weeping Myrtle, the ghost of a girl, lives. Harry writes in the diary, and it writes back, saying his name is Tom Riddle. Tom says that he enchanted that journal when he was a student at Hogwarts, when the Chamber of Secrets was opened. Harry dives into the journal and is able to see the events. Hagrid, in his memory of the diary 50 years ago, is blamed for opening it. Minutes before the Gryffindor versus Hufflepuff Quidditch match, another double attack occurs. Hermione and a Ravenclaw girl, Penelope Clearwater, are petrified. Harry and Ron go to Hagrid and ask him about this. But before he can answer them, Cornelius Fudge, the Minister for Magic, arrests Hagrid as he believes he has reopened the chamber. They also fire Dumbledore, making him responsible for the events. Hagrid mentions, for Ron and Harry, hidden by the invisibility cloak to hear, that anyone who wants to know what's going on should just follow the spiders. Dumbledore says, "I'll only be gone when there's no one faithful left." Harry and Ron follow the spiders, which manifest in a strange way. They follow them to the Forbidden Forest, where they find Aragog, an acromantula. Aragog says that he was Hagrid's pet, and that he was afraid of the creature in the Chamber of Secrets, but Hagrid had not opened it. He had been wrongly blamed, and Aragog was believed to have been Slytherin's monster. Also, he says that a girl was killed by that creature, which spiders are afraid of. They realize that it is Myrtle La Llorona. Harry and Ron go to visit Hermione in the infirmary. They discover that she had a paper in the fist of her hand. It was a sheet where there was information about the basilisk. They realize that the creature should not have just petrified them, but killed them, because the basilisk kills with its eyes. Harry realizes that he only listens to the basilisk, the mysterious voice, because he understands Parseltongue, the language of snakes, and the others don't. But he doesn't understand why he hears the voice in the walls and how a giant snake can wander through the castle unseen. But on the sheet, the word pipes was written. Everything fits. Harry asks Myrtle how she died, and she tells them that she just remembers that before she died she was sitting there crying, and she saw 2 big yellow eyes in the wash. Harry and Ron realize that the entrance is in the girls' bathroom. That same day, Harry and Ron listen to a faculty meeting, where they learn that a student has been kidnapped and sent to the Chamber of Secrets, where her skeleton of hers will lie forever. This student is none other than Ginny Weasley, Ron's younger sister. At that moment, Lockhart arrives, and the teachers, fed up with the conceited professor, challenge him to enter the chamber, since he claims that he knows where he is. Harry and Ron go to ask Lockhart for help to fight the basilisk, only to discover that he is about to flee the castle. Lockhart reveals that all the experience he has is from other wizards, but that he cast a memory charm on them, his specialty, and got all the credit. When he is about to attack them, Ron and Harry do so first, forcing him to come along. Harry, Ron, and Lockhart head to the girls' bathroom. Harry speaks Parseltongue so that the entrance to the chamber opens, so only a Parseltongue could find it. Arriving at the chamber, Lockhart takes Ron's wand to erase their memory, but the spell rebounds as Ron's wand is damaged. Lockhart's memory is wiped. Harry enters the chamber and finds Ginny passed out. He also sees Riddle's diary, and Riddle himself appears in person. Riddle mentions that he intends to meet Harry to find out how Lord Voldemort couldn't kill him. Harry tells him that he shouldn't care, as Voldemort lived after Riddle. "Voldemort is my past, my present, and my future, Harry Potter," says Riddle. At this point, Riddle reveals that he is Lord Voldemort as a young man, and that Lord Voldemort is an anagram of his name. His full name is Tom Marvolo Riddle, which creates the anagram I am Lord Voldemort, and therefore Tom Riddle is Voldemort's soul preserved in his journal. He also mentions that he is the heir to Slytherin, and that through the diary he cast to keep part of him alive, he controlled Ginny to write on the wall and do all the sinister acts that happened in the year. Riddle uses the basilisk, and suddenly Fawkes appears with the sorting hat. Fawkes blinds the basilisk, but Riddle mentions that the basilisk could still smell him. Harry manages, without explanation, to draw a sword from the hat to combat the basilisk. In the end, he destroys the basilisk with his sword, but the basilisk poisons him and leaves a fang buried in Harry's arm, but Fawkes' tears heal him. Then, with the poison in the basilisk's fang, he destroys Riddle's journal, and Riddle disappears. When Ron, Harry, Ginny, and Lockhart talk to Dumbledore, he fully understands everything that has happened. Harry mentions that Voldemort enchanted his journal when he was young, and Dumbledore says that things like that could only be done by a very powerful wizard. Besides, he says that the sword that Harry drew could only have been made by a true Gryffindor, since the sword was his. On the sword, the name Godric Gryffindor appears. Lucius Malfoy arrives with Dobby, and it is revealed that he is his master. He is surprised to learn that Dumbledore is back as headmaster, and Harry takes Riddle's diary. He places it inside a stocking and hands it to Lucius, who takes it out of the stocking. Harry tells Lucius that he knows that he traded Ginny's book on Flourish and Blots at the beginning of the year with Riddle's diary. "Try it," says Lucius. Lucius, furious, hands Dobby the diary and stocking, and Dobby says that she is free of her, as she has been given clothes. Lucius, who hadn't realized what he had done, was about to attack Harry, but Dobby defends him. Back in London, Harry gives Ron his phone number to call him. Ron asks Harry if his aunt and uncle will be proud of what he did, and Harry says that he's not, since he had several chances to die, and unfortunately for his aunt and uncle, he didn't.